Good morning. We are at Elements of Martial Arts with Dominic Dillon, Sensei. What do you teach?
I teach Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu.
Okay. And is there a difference between Jiu-Jitsu and Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu?
It can get quite, that can be up for quite a lot of debate. I mean, generally, they come from the same root.
Okay.
It's from a Japanese martial arts in feudal Japan. And a lot of the techniques are similar. The main difference with Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu and Japanese Jiu-Jitsu these days is that there's a large focus on sparring in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, as well as quite a close association with MMA, as I believe it's a pivotal part of fighting in MMA.
First of all, I forgot to say thank you so much for having us here today.
No, pleasure.
What I recently discovered is that with the 102 crimes committed per 1,000 people last year, Brighton and Hove is considered the most dangerous city in the southeast, believe it or not. I mean, nothing has ever happened to me, but yeah, I mean, wow, okay. So what we wanted to ask you about is why Jiu-Jitsu as opposed to a different martial art?
Well, I've done a lot of different martial arts. I have black belts in 10 different styles.
Okay.
Including Japanese Jiu-Jitsu. I started in Japanese Jiu-Jitsu and Aikido. I taught karate for years. I taught Krav Maga as well.
Okay.
So a large emphasis always through the years was trying to find the style that I felt ticked a lot of the boxes with self-defense.
Okay.
Eventually, I found myself moving into MMA and Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu through that, as you get submitted very quickly if you don't do BJJ and MMA. So it was kind of through that I came into Jiu-Jitsu and I found that training for MMA and Jiu-Jitsu was just much more effective than a lot of the other styles that I'd previously trained in and taught.
Okay, and this is self-defense, obviously. You don't want to attack. You're not a villain. You just, but if someone did attack you.
Yeah. I mean, I have fortunately had to use training a few times in incidents out and about.
I'm so sorry.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't too bad. Again, it's like Joe Rogan often refers to it, which I quite like, is that the thing within a lot of martial arts, you kind of get a bit of role playing going, and it's like one person plays a baddie, and it's very sort of choreographed. Whereas in Jiu-Jitsu and MMA, you're kind of practicing every day on the mat against people who are trained, very, very like dangerous people, like they know what they're doing. So then oftentimes in street incidents, obviously, there can be variety, but generally I've found it's like if you're used to dealing with like killers on the mat, generally in the self-defense situation it is much easier, and your reactions and everything is just that much heightened that you can handle the situation.
So, Dominic, would you show me, for instance, could I be a dummy? Could you show me how would I be able to defend myself and run away from someone that would attack me?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, again, obviously, disengaging and like getting out of situation is always the best thing in the street. Normally, obviously, if someone squares off to try and punch you or kick you, you can disengage and go away. The issue often comes when someone gets hold of you from that. So that's always going to be, again, that's where grappling and stuff comes in very nicely, because that's going to be a position where when someone gets hold of us, we can also get hold of them.
Okay.
So, there's normal like grip breaks and disengagements. So we can go through some ones where someone's like grabbing your arm or grabbing your body or grabbing you to try and hit you. And these are all very common situations that you can't necessarily just disengage from, because they have physical contact.
Okay, would you show me a simple technique?
Yes, yeah.
Let me take my glasses off.
Okay, so some very simple techniques can come from things like if myself is trying to grab you, say maybe in a headlock like this. Yes. From there, so one of the first things we normally look to try and do is we're going to come through the back with this hand and control the wrist. So here. Through the, so around the back, and you look to control this wrist here. What that does is that makes it very difficult for me now to decide to punch you if you're controlling this wrist, so you grip it and pull it in. So grab the wrist from here, and you pull this hand back this way.
Okay.
Now it's very hard for me to strike you from this position.
Yeah.
From here also, it will start to weaken my control on your neck.
Yeah.
And from there, you can now start walking in your hips
Yes.
to get underneath your shoulders and look towards the ceiling. So you walk
Okay.
in your legs and you drive up in this way. So, if
So would you show me? Yeah. So I'm
if you're
taking.
grabbing here, I want to grab this wrist from the back.
Yeah.
Okay? This means now that you can't use that hand to punch me in the face. From there, I can then use the second one to start freeing my neck,
Okay.
and I can start walking in. I make this kind of posture from here.
Okay.
Now I'm in a much stronger position. I can now just grip from here, and I can take you to the floor this way. And again, with this control, it makes it very difficult for you to move. But I can also now
Run
just
away.
disengage from that situation.
That's fantastic. And for instance, if I did grab you from here.
If we grab from here again, now what we want to worry about, we worry about the headbutt from here. Normally we're going to want to tuck our head so that we're going to be on the underside from here. I can grip on the inside and I come close. Again, we normally want to try and come close on our partners from here.
Yeah.
Then from this position,
Yes.
I can either try and take you back or I can look to step in and I can use a throw forward this way. Just try and throw my partner, and again, now I can disengage from my partner in that fashion. But again, always the main thing worrying about would be the headbutt here.
Yes.
Or maybe like a knee to the groin. But by tucking the head here, and we come over and close, and we're turning ourselves side on, so it's
Yes.
harder for that to happen. So this is where I can start trying to trip on the inside, or again, we come and we throw to take our partner to the floor, and again, we can now disengage.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
And if I did attack you from the back, for instance, if I went like that.
Yeah, from the back here. So again, we can look to try and peel this hand off, and I can get some control on the wrist.
Yes.
And then I can look to turn back into my partner here, and I use a move called the Kimura.
Yes.
That is going to keep driving up the shoulder here to take my partner to the floor. At this point, I can then choose to continue attacking with the submission or disengage from my partner.
Okay. So yeah, what we would suggest, I guess what you would suggest, always disengage, run away, never be the attacker, never be the villain.
Yes.
Not perpetrating violence for the sake of it.
No. Always do a little as you need so that you can get away to a safe space in these kinds of situations.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. It's been an absolute pleasure.
No worries.
And obviously, always, avoid, don't go back, don't argue with someone, just walk away. They don't know you, whatever the insult may be. And again, they don't know you, they don't know your family, they don't know what you're up to, they don't know who you really are. Just walk away, but to practice this martial arts, yes, the elements of martial arts, it's fantastic.
Yeah, no, and it becomes, again, it's an enjoyable activity to do, so it takes beyond purely trying to defend yourself, and it's a sport that you make friends with, and physical activity, which just is also quite fun to do.
You become self-confident. Do you have classes for kids as well?
No, currently, no. We only teach from 16 and up at the minute.
Okay, I appreciate that. And do you have a website?
Yeah. If you just Elements Martial Arts in Brighton, and we'll come up.
We will find you on the web. Well, thank you so much, Latest TV.
Thank you.
Thank you.